the threat of retaliation from the U.S. government, Canada has decided to implement its new digital services tax, targeting, of course, almost entirely U.S. internet giants. Now, Canada argues that the British and French have successfully imposed similar taxes without facing massive U.S. retaliation. But our guest thinks that the risk of the U.S. hitting back is significantly higher during a U.S. election year. We're joined by Michael Geist, chair in Internet and E-commerce Law at the University of Ottawa. Michael, always great to hear from you. Thank you very much for joining us. You think Canada is taking a risk here?
The risk is the U.S. has been pretty consistent for countries around the world that if they implement these digital services taxes, they're going to retaliate with an equivalent amount in tariffs. And those tariffs can hit anything you like. So in the case of France, they targeted some of the French luxury goods. In the case of Canada, if they move ahead with that, it could target things like the dairy industry, steel, lumber, some of the more sensitive Canadian industries.
Trade associations in the United States are calling on their government to fight back against Canada's new digital services tax. The tax plans to add a 3% levy on foreign tech giants that generate revenue from Canadian users. But it's not just those in the U.S. that are upset with this new tax. The Ford government is also pushing back. Ontario Finance Minister Peter Bethlenfalvy wrote to his federal counterpart last week. Now is not the time for Canada to put a target on its back. Unilaterally implementing this tax not only imposes new costs on our economy, it could significantly harm our relationship with the United States. Precise enough that it's only going to hit the big digital giants?
Well, it's certainly targeting big digital giants, but it could actually affect many others. So loyalty programs within Canada, Canadians love their travel loyalty points. Those could be impacted. Our travel sites that we use quite frequently.
To say simply that, oh, other countries do it, also doesn't give Canadians the benefit of having the information that Canada's doing it differently. Our tax, the proposed tax, is broader. It's going to cover more, potentially more companies, and takes a whole different tack. It's higher than the tax that France imposed. And even in that case, the U.S. did threaten retaliation against France. So also not to be underestimated is there is a very real threat coming now from a Democratic administration, but nobody should fool themselves that Trump wouldn't absolutely go full in and levy perhaps 100% tariff on some certain Canadian imports. That's a real threat.